You've set a new habit a dozen times. You start strong, full of fire, but 2 weeks later, it's gone. Poof. And deep down, you wonder if something's wrong with you. But here's the truth. It's not you. It's the way you're building habits. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the one simple system that makes habits stick, almost automatically. Stay with me, because the moment everything clicked for me is coming right up, and it might click for you too. What if I told you most people build habits completely backwards? They start with the action, and that's exactly why they fail before week 3 even hits. We're taught that habits are all about willpower and repetition. Just do the thing every day, push through the resistance, and eventually it becomes automatic. Sounds logical, right? But science and real life show something different. Research from University College London shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit, not 21 like the old myth. Some take 18 days, others over 250. And the biggest predictor of success isn't how motivated you feel on day one, that it's whether you have a system that protects the habit when motivation disappears. Most people don't. They rely on feeling good to show up. And when life gets busy, tired, or stressful, which it always does, the habit collapses. That if this already sounds familiar, drop a quick yes in the comments. Let's see how many of us have been there. You know that sinking feeling when you skip one day, then two, and suddenly the streak is broken and guilt takes over? Yeah, we've all been there. Last year, I decided I was finally going to read every single day. I bought the books, cleared my nightstand, told everyone. First week was perfect. 20 pages every night. Felt amazing. Then work got intense. Late nights, early mornings. One night, I was exhausted. Thought, I'll just read tomorrow. Next night, same thing. Within 10 days, the books were collecting dust again. I beat myself up for weeks. Called myself lazy. But the problem wasn't me. I had no system. Just a goal and some early motivation. And motivation always runs out. That failure didn't just hurt my reading goal. It hurt how I saw myself. But here's where it gets interesting. Successful people don't have more willpower. They have better systems. And the simplest, most powerful system starts with one thing most people completely ignore. You think that's the whole story? Think again. Because the real reason habits fail, the one nobody talks about, is coming next. And it's simpler than you think. Most people click off right here. Don't be one of them. This next part hits different. Let's keep going. That you've probably never heard this explained quite like this before, but habits don't fail because you lack discipline. They fail because you're trying to install a new behavior without the right trigger. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do it. You don't debate it. You just do it. Why? Because there's a rock-solid trigger. You finish dinner, or you wake up, or you walk into the bathroom, and boom, toothbrush time. No decision. No negotiation. The environment cues the action automatically. But when we try to build new habits, gym, meditation, writing, healthy eating, we skip the trigger. We just say, I'm going to do this every day. That's like trying to build a house without a foundation. Of course it falls. If you're still here, you're serious about this. Hit that like button real quick. It tells YouTube to share this with more people who need it. Here's what most experts get wrong. They focus on the habit itself. Make it small. Do it at the same time. Track it. All good advice. But none of it matters if the habit isn't attached to something that already happens every day without fail. James Clear calls this habit stacking. But I want to take it deeper. Because most people stack wrong. And that's why it still doesn't stick. The real magic happens when you attach the new habit to a trigger that's not just consistent, but emotionally bulletproof. Wait, here's where it gets crazy. Most people use weak triggers. After I drink coffee, I'll meditate. Sounds good. But coffee time moves. Sometimes you skip it. Sometimes you're rushing. Weak trigger equals fragile habit. But what if your trigger was something you literally cannot avoid? Something built into your day that happens no matter how tired, busy, or unmotivated you feel. That's the system. And it's so simple, you'll wonder why nobody talks about it this way. Imagine 10 minutes from now, after watching this to the end, you'll look at your failed habits completely differently. And you'll have one clear system to fix them. But first, let me show you exactly why even good habit methods fail most people. That you've tried the 2-minute rule. You've made it tiny. You've tracked streaks. Maybe you even used an app. And it worked for a little while. Then life happened. Travel. Sick kid. Deadline. And the chain broke. That's not failure. That's feedback. Your system wasn't strong enough to survive reality. Most people stop here. They think, I guess habits just aren't for me. But a tiny group keeps going. And they don't do it by trying harder. They do it by changing one thing. The trigger. This next part might change everything for you. Stay with me. The strongest triggers aren't time-based. They're event-based. And not just any event. An event that already carries emotional weight. Example. After I sit at my desk, I open my journal and write one sentence. Not at 7 a.m. Not when I feel like it. After an event that happens every workday, no matter what. Another. After I take my shoes off at the door, I do 10 push-ups. You come home every day. You take shoes off every day. Boom. Trigger fired. The system isn't the push-ups. The system is the unbreakable link between shoes off and push-ups start. And here's what happens when you use this. Decision fatigue disappears. Willpower isn't needed. The trigger pulls you forward. That if this is starting to click, comment trigger below. Let's see who's getting it early. Most people get this wrong. They pick triggers that are too vague or flexible. After breakfast. But breakfast changes. In the morning. Too broad. You've probably never heard this part before, but the strongest habit system in the world isn't habit stacking alone. It's stacking plus one hidden layer that turns good habits into unbreakable ones. Habit stacking gets you started. It links the new behavior to a bulletproof trigger. But most people stop there, and that's why their habits still break during tough weeks. The missing layer is what I call environment locking. You don't just link the habit to a trigger. You redesign the space around the trigger so the action becomes the easiest possible choice. Friction kills habits. Ease keeps them alive. When the trigger fires, if the next step feels even slightly hard, your brain will negotiate. Skip today, do it later, but when you lock the environment, there's nothing to negotiate. Research from BJ Fogg at Stanford shows behavior happens when motivation, ability, and trigger meet at the same moment. Most of us wait for high motivation. Smart people lower the ability barrier instead. They make the habit so easy to do and the wrong choice so hard that it happens even on your worst day. If this is making sense, drop lock in the comments right now. Let's build this community of people who actually change. Think about how easy it is to scroll on your phone at night because the phone is right there, charged, apps open. That's environment locking. For a habit you don't want. I used to try meditating every morning. Trigger. After I make coffee. But my phone was on the nightstand. Coffee done. I'd sit on the couch. Phone in hand. 10 minutes later, I'm deep in emails instead of breathing. Habit dead. Then I changed one thing. I moved the phone charger to the kitchen. Phone stays there overnight. Morning coffee. Trigger fires. Couch is empty. Meditation cushion is already out. No phone nearby. First try, I actually meditated. And it stuck. Not because I got more disciplined. Because I locked the environment. That small change didn't just give me meditation. It gave me back trust in myself. But here's the twist nobody talks about. Once you combine unbreakable triggers with locked environments, something bigger happens. Your habits stop feeling like work and start reshaping who you are. The real magic starts in 3, 2, 1. So that's everything you need to know about why habits fail and the simple system that fixes them. Or is it? Because there's one final piece most people miss. Even the ones who stack and lock perfectly. And it's the difference between habits that last a year and habits that last a lifetime. Stay with me. This last part hits different. When you use this system consistently, something shifts inside. You stop thinking, I'm trying to build a habit. You start thinking, this is who I am now. James Clear calls it identity change. Every time the trigger fires and you follow through, because the environment makes it easy, you cast a vote for the new version of you. 10 votes. You feel different. 100 votes. You become different. The gym isn't something you force anymore. You're a person who works out. Writing isn't a struggle. You're a writer. Healthy eating isn't willpower. You're someone who takes care of their body. And once the identity shifts, the habit isn't held together by systems alone. It's held by pride, by consistency with who you've become. Most people never reach this point because their systems break too early. But with strong triggers and locked environments, you will. If you're feeling that shift already, comment your biggest takeaway so far. The best ones might get pinned. Let's inspire each other. Here's what happens next. You pick one habit you failed at before. You find one inevitable trigger. You lock the environment to make it stupidly easy. You start today, and in a few weeks, you'll look back and realize the old you, the one who couldn't stick to anything, is gone. If this video changed something for you, hit that like button. It helps more people find this when they need it most. And if you want the exact step-by-step template I use to build these systems, plus real examples for fitness, productivity, and money habits, smash subscribe and turn on notifications. The next video drops in 48 hours and goes even deeper. Share this with one person who keeps saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Watch what happens. Thank you for staying until the end. You're different now. See you in the next one.